Emma almost stepped on him. It was a Tuesday night in October, around 11, and she was coming back from the library with her backpack over one shoulder and her keys already in her hand, not paying much attention to anything below knee level, and she nearly put her foot directly on a black and white cat sitting on the welcome mat in front of her apartment door. She stopped. The cat looked up at her. He was not small. Probably 2 years old, maybe more, with longer fur than she would have expected and a face that communicated something that was not exactly distress and not exactly calm, but somewhere in the middle, like an animal that had been managing for a while and was open to alternatives. Emma said, "Hi." The cat looked at her. She unlocked the door, went inside, and got a can of tuna from the kitchen. She was not sure she should do this. She did it anyway. He ate the tuna on the mat without coming inside. Then he sat back down in the same spot and looked at the closed door. Emma sat on the floor on the other side of the door and thought about this for a while. She was 21, a junior, had never had a cat, and was currently sitting on her apartment floor at 11:15 at night having a one-sided conversation with a stray through a closed door. She was not sure this was what she had expected from living alone. She was also not sure she wanted to stop. She posted on the neighborhood app that night, "Found black and white cat, front door of the Maple Street apartments, no collar, appeared to be stray." A few people liked the post. Nobody said it was their cat. She checked the mat at 7 the next morning. He was there. She had not entirely believed he would be. He was. She named him Pixel on day 3, which was when she admitted to herself that naming him was probably happening regardless of how the situation resolved. He was still outside, he was eating the food she left, he was not going anywhere. The vet visit happened on day 5. She used a borrowed carrier, a towel, and approximately 20 minutes of patient coaxing to get him inside. He was not microchipped, he was approximately 2 years old, healthy, underweight, no owner on record. The vet said, "So what are you going to do?" Emma said she was still figuring it out. The vet wrote Pixel on the paperwork. Emma noticed this and did not say anything. He came inside on day 8. She had left the door open a few inches while she was on the floor nearby doing homework, not looking at him, not calling him, just being there with the door open. After 20 minutes, she heard a sound and looked up, and he was standing in the doorway looking at the apartment with the careful assessment of an animal performing due diligence before making a significant decision. She did not move. He walked in, did a slow circuit of the living room, sniffed the corner near the bookshelf, and then sat down in the middle of the floor and looked at her. Emma said, "Okay." He looked at her for another moment and then started grooming his front paw. She considered this a yes. If you are still watching and have not subscribed yet, Pixel chose Emma's doorstep out of every doorstep on that street. She almost stepped on him. Hit subscribe. Pixel would want you to know he picked well. The first 2 weeks inside were careful. Pixel was not a lap cat, not yet. He had a zone of comfortable proximity that expanded slowly, a few inches at a time, over days. He would be nearby but not touching. He would follow him between rooms but sit at the doorway. He accepted food from her hand by the end of week 1, which she had read was significant, and which felt significant in a way she had not expected. The floor was where things changed. Emma had taken to doing her homework on the floor, partly because her desk chair was uncomfortable, partly because being lower seemed to matter to Pixel in a way she could not fully explain. He would come closer when she was on the floor. One evening in week 3, he walked over and sat next to her leg, not against it, just next to it, and stayed there for the entire 2 hours she spent working on a paper. She did not move, she did not touch him, she just worked. He stayed. The catnip stick happened in week 4. A friend named Claire had mentioned them, small dried herbs on a stick that some cats responded to strongly. Emma bought one and held it out toward Pixel on the kitchen floor, lying down to his level, not reaching, just offering. He approached slowly, stopped once, then reached the stick and held it between his front paws and worked on it with his eyes half closed and the total absorption of a cat who had found exactly what he needed. He did not seem to notice Emma was right there. She watched him and thought, "There you are." The head thing happened a week after that. Emma was sitting on the floor reading, and Pixel walked over and put his head under her hand. Just walked under it, the way cats do when they have a clear opinion about what a hand should be doing. She scratched behind his ears. He closed his eyes. She thought, 8 days on the mat, 6 days on the floor, and now this. She thought the door was a good idea. Her friend Claire came over in month 2 and sat on the floor because Emma said that was the approach. Pixel came over within 10 minutes. Claire said, "Is this him warming up?" Emma said, "That is him being social." Claire looked at Pixel, who was now sniffing her sleeve. She said, "You found him on the mat?" Emma said, "I almost stepped on him." Claire said, "Lucky you didn't." Emma said, "Yeah." She stayed for 2 hours. Pixel stayed close the whole time. November got harder. There were weeks Emma barely left the apartment, and the late-night study sessions got longer, and Pixel was there for all of them, closer than before, sometimes against her side, sometimes just nearby in the dark, present in the way that mattered when the semester felt like too much. She texted Claire once at 1 in the morning, "Do you think it counts as rescued if you almost stepped on him?" Claire replied, "Yes." Emma said, "Okay." She put the phone down. Pixel was next to her on the floor. She looked at him. He looked at her. She turned the lamp off. He is not a stray anymore. He is not shy the way he was, though he still takes a few minutes with new people and still prefers the floor to most furniture. He still comes closest when Emma is working late, as if the hours mattered to him specifically. She never found out who he belonged to before. She has stopped trying to find out. He showed up at her door at 11 on a Tuesday, and she almost stepped on him, and she made him tuna, and he sat on the other side of the door, and she sat on this side, and by day 8, they had worked out the arrangement. She was not expecting any of it. She is not sure that matters. She thinks about that Tuesday sometimes. She had been running late from the library, almost skipped the mat entirely, had the key in the lock before she looked down. 1 second either way and she would have opened the door and walked inside, and he would have still been out there in the dark. She does not like to think about that version. She is glad she looked down. So is he, probably. Did you ever find a cat at your door, and what did you do? Tell me in the comments.